welcome to Get Seen, Be Heard. I'm Karen Yankovich, and my co-host Christina Daves is sunning herself on the beautiful island of the Dominican Republic for a few days to celebrate a big anniversary. I think maybe 20 years. So she is not going to be here with us today, but who is here with us today is the lovely Lynne Bardowski. And I'm going to kind of let Lynne introduce herself, but I just want to let, Lynne and I met a few years ago at the Conference for Women. And then again at an event a few months ago. And, after that event a few months ago, we've kind of stayed more in touch. And, really, I'm a big fan of Lynne. I'm a big fan of the work she does. I have sent her book to people. I have gone on Amazon and sent her book to people. I don't even know if you know that. I have, I talk about her a lot, and I think that she's really doing amazing things in the world that she's in. So Lynne, welcome to Get Seen, Be Heard.
Thank you, Karen. This is so much fun. Yes, I love it. I think we're both about women helping women and, kind of in the background referring people to each other. So I did know you were sending people my book. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Good. So tell everybody a little bit about you and who you are and the work you do.
Sure. So I am a 26-year direct sales entrepreneur. I left a corporate career in 1990. Now I'm totally dating myself. I usually tell people my story is more riches to rags. I was actually making great money in the corporate world and said goodbye to all of it to start a Party Light direct sales business, Party Light candles. For those of you that don't know what Party Light is. And basically, started like everybody else did, got the startup kit, but really kind of created a vision to build it big and left my corporate career in 6 months, went on to build a multi-million-dollar direct sales business. And now, flash forward, I'm 26 years in direct sales. And 3 years ago, actually, oh my gosh, it's 4 years ago now, I launched $1 Million Party Girl, which is a really fun brand just to say.
Absolutely. I love it.
Fun to say. And which launched with my book that you were telling people about. And honestly, didn't have had a big vision, but not a big, like, this is where I'm going to go. I just knew that I wanted to really help a gazillion women in direct sales make more money, doing what they love, and kind of stop that merry-go-round gerbil wheel that we see so many women in business on, really, no matter what their, business model is. And so that's what I do. I still have my direct sales business. I do a lot of speaking, and that's how we met. And have a fun community that I call the Visionistas. And I see a few of them on here today. Hey, Amy, she's one of our VIP members. So yeah, just really, kind of stepped up. I saw that there wasn't a lot of extra training and resources for women in direct sales other than what they were getting from their upline leaders. And, many times, so many direct sales companies have launched. When I started, there was like 4 or 5. Now there's hundreds.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of them start with that enthusiasm on fire, but a year later, they haven't built the systems and the infrastructures to keep that momentum going.
Right. You know what? I love that. And people have come to me over the years, people that are in direct sales, and, I try to help them to the best that I can, especially when they're looking to get started. And they're often so excited when they're ready to get started, right? They've just taken on this new product and, they really believe in their product and they believe in the company, and then they struggle a little bit. So I love that there's people like you out there supporting them and helping them understand how that you really can make this. Like, I'm thinking of a few people in particular that, would love to do what you did, and which is get it to the point where they can leave their full-time gig, their daytime gig, So how did you do this? Amy, please share this. Yeah, we would love for you to share this. Tell us, how did you do that? Like, how? So you can do a couple things, Amy. You can grab the link in the URL at the top and just go on over to Facebook or wherever you want and share it with your audience or Twitter. But you can share this last 30 seconds here on the left. And it will share, you can share it to Twitter. Something is beeping in my office here. I'm not really sure what it is, but maybe it's this. Yeah. Something is beeping in, so you just can share it that way as well. So those are a couple different ways you can share it. Blab changes how you share things pretty frequently, or they have recently anyway. So anyway, back to you, Lynn. Tell us how, like, you've got this business, you've got this this big fat paying corporate gig.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because when I read your book, so I didn't read, when I met Lynn initially, I didn't have her book. But when I met her in the fall, I bought her book. I came home and read her book. Now, those of you that know me know that I pretty much work 7 days a week because I love what I do right now. And I'm working 7 a.m. and I'm working at 10 p.m. sometimes. And I read Lynn's book and I went, I need to sell candles. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, Karen, like, get a grip. You focus on what you do. But I think I saw what you saw. Having the corporate sales background, I saw the potential that having a direct sales business with a corporate or with sales training, marketing background, how powerful it could be. So for all of these people that are out there that don't have that sales background and that marketing background, tell them a little bit about how you made this decision to do it, and then what kinds of things they can do to start to.
Yeah, definitely. So at the end of the day, I'm a marketer. That's what I love. My dad was in sales. My brother's in sales. My two brothers are in sales. It's kind of like in our genetic code in my family. Both my daughters are in sales. So, and there is a difference between sales and marketing, by the way. So, my brain kind of works in the strategy part where, the marketing lies. And that's really where the secret sauce is, right? So, I was definitely not the norm. When I started, most women were homemakers, stay-at-home mom, looking for some fun money to get out of the house. And that I was kind of, like, which of these is not like the other?
Yeah.
I didn't care what the product was called. They wanted to do this whole product training with me.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm good. I don't care. So, and that's probably my biggest lesson for anybody that really wants to build it big is don't get stuck in thinking you need to know everything. Right? Like 2 years later, after I was about to hit the top level of the company, I was cleaning out my closet and I found they had a consultant manual that was this thick and it was still in the shrink wrap. I was like, maybe I should have read it. But, yeah, so just don't wait. And so many times I hear they're like, oh, well, I really need to learn the product and I need to learn this and learn that. And I'm going to wait till I decide to really build it big. Well, build it big from day one, because if you go at it with that big vision, not only will you inspire yourself to act, because it's a higher calling, you're going to inspire others around you to act, and people will treat you differently than if you're just out, schlepping some products to parties and being the candle lady or the Mary Kay lady or the Tupperware lady. I've never been a big fan of adding the word lady because, and I know so many direct sellers do. So, don't be hating on me for saying that, but I never did that because I felt like it really diminished that I was a woman business owner and I wanted people to take me seriously. And so I pretty much told my own story. I decided who I was going to be and what this business was going to be for me and where I was going to go. And I didn't let people put me in that box. Right. Right. And every industry has a stigma. I don't care what you do. You could be a lawyer and people are like, oh, they're lying. Right. And definitely for direct sales and network marketing, there's so many. I actually wrote a blog called The 5 Myths about direct selling, because people think it's a pyramid. And somebody told me, and this was recently, somebody told me that they weren't going to buy because it was a scam. I'm like, really? I'm like, they would have arrested the Mary Kay lady so long ago if that was true. I know. I think it goes back to the years. I mean, and you're old enough to remember this. Probably most of the people are not old enough. But you remember there was that pyramid thing where you send me $1 and I send $1 to 10 people. And then you make, thousands and thousands of dollars. And people were making a ton of money. But obviously, it was a pyramid, the people at the top. And that I think is what people think about when they think about direct sales and they think about having downlines and, that crazy
situation.
And I do have a good comeback for that, by the way, if anybody wants to know what to say when people say that. Well, first of all, here's the irony. The corporate hierarchy looks exactly like a pyramid.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And even more so today, the distance in terms of financial income between that CEO and even the management level.
Right.
Huge.
Right.
Huge. You were never going to get there.
Right.
So I feel like if anything, the corporations of today have really turned into the pyramid schemes of yesterday.
You're right. I never even thought about it like that.
I'm going to call them out. Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. They're worried about direct sales. What about the company they work for? Like, you're talking, the CEO is making millions and millions and millions, and the average manager is making like $40,000 a year. Like, you're never going to get there. But so here's my comeback for anyone who has ever been told, oh, but you make money off of people. Because I feel like that is the perception, because we build a team. And I've had people say it to me, oh, but you make money off of people. Right. So my answer to that is, actually, people make money off of me.
Ooh.
And then they don't know what to say.
I like that.
They're like, well, what do you mean?
I like that.
And so when somebody, joins and decides to start a business as part of my direct sales team, they get my coaching absolutely free. And they get the coaching of the person that sponsored them. They have a team of mentors. And actually people do hire me for coaching, and it's not cheap. Right. So they actually get the coaching and guidance and mentorship of a whole upline of women and men that have been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and will provide them with everything they need to be successful at no cost. So I only know that if I'm making a great income, it's only because I've really helped a whole lot of people make a great income too. And I'm talking really great incomes, 6-figure incomes. Yeah. And they got my mentorship and coaching at no cost. So every direct sales leader is investing not just time and money into training and developing those people that start that business. Right. And it's at no cost, which is really unheard of in today's world.
It is. You're right. And that's a huge benefit to working in an environment like that, is that everybody's success, everybody gets great. The more successful you are, the more successful everybody else is. Everybody's invested in your success.
Exactly. And, coming from the corporate world, I so appreciated that, because I thought, oh my gosh, what if my boss could only move up if they helped me move up? Right. Imagine if the corporate world took that same concept. It would really be pretty amazing. Right. But it's the opposite. They don't want you to move up because you're going to take their job, right?
Exactly. I love it. And I love, what I love? So this show is about getting seen and being heard. And basically what that means is how to use PR and social media to really stand out from the crowd. But you've kind of found so I like the way that you're supporting people. So these are, I'm going to say mostly women, but I'm sure there's men as well, that are looking to just make some extra income, whether it be, while they're working full time or while they're raising their kids, or maybe not. Maybe they're going into this full time from the get go. But I love that you're saying go in big from day one. Like go in, treat it like a real business, treat it like a real job from day one. And I don't know that everybody's doing that. I don't know that everybody's got that same message in direct sales.
Yeah. And you know what? It's direct sales can be so many things for so many people. Right. And so you can be a success. You don't have to earn a 6-figure income to be a success. Right. You could, one of the early consultants that started, I was so excited to help. It was my sister's neighbor. She wanted to plan a surprise birthday party for her husband's 30th birthday. Okay. And she needed to make $1,000. And she said, if you can help me make $1,000, I'm going to do it. And I said, I can totally help you do that. Right. And she did. And she was just as a success as the person making a 6-figure income. Right. Because she came in, she had a vision, she had a goal, she went for it, she made it. So you really define success on your own terms. But I feel like the people that don't make it or quit too soon, so many people quit too soon, is because they're not putting on that CEO head, you know, and really saying, hey, wait a minute, let's take the emotional part out of it and really work this as a business. And, you know, it's a different mindset. And that's really what you need to be successful and to hang in there.
Yeah, I agree. And to take the marketing side of that, like what I think, and like when people come to me with, you know, for some help with some of this, obviously I'm like, all right, let's get you set up on Instagram and, you know, let's come up with some cool hashtags for you to use and things like that. But I also say then, like, what's going to make you different? What's going to make you stand out? You know, what can you do to make what you're selling stand out from all of the other people that are selling it? You know, and that's not, it's not about competition, right? It's about you. Like, you want to be successful. So can you join forces with people? Like, what can you do to market your, whether it's a party or whatever it is that you do? What, you know, how can you be unique with that?
Yeah, a lot of that really is creating your own personal brand, right? I mean, that's really what you're talking about. And so that's why I never wanted to be called the Candle Lady.
Right.
Because so many times I would do parties, and this is like, you know, now getting a few years into it, and somebody would say, oh, I was just at a party.
Right.
Who was your consultant?
Right.
I don't remember her name.
Right.
She was the Candle Lady. I don't know.
Right. Oh my gosh. Right. Okay.
So you want to be memorable, and I'm not a fan of wearing my company T-shirts. I do not want to become invisible to my customer as just the same old in a tribe of thousands, tens of thousands of me. I really want to stand out. So you could stand out. Standing out could be as simple as having a signature color lip gloss that you wear. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's bright red and that's your thing. And every time you do a party, you've got that bright red lips on, and you tell everybody why wearing bright red, you know, lip gloss, how that really helps you feel empowered. It could really be that simple. So for me, I came from a fashion background. That's where the Visionista kind of a play on fashionista, right? Mm-hmm. So I always brought that kind of fun fashionista vibe into my parties, whether it be wearing a fun pair of shoes. I always wear bright pink. You know, I want people to know that I'm the business owner at the party.
Right.
And so I always, I never introduced myself as a candle lady. I never wanted to be one of the thousands of many's wearing, you know, a T-shirt with my company branding. Mm-hmm. I decided to step out and be myself and be unique and not dress like everybody else was dressing, and really be comfortable in my own style. And I think that's a big part of success is the more you're yourself, the more you're going to attract people to you, and the better you're going to feel. It's going to feel good, right? When you're trying to be somebody else and dress like other people are telling you to dress, you're not being your authentic self.
Right.
And that people know that. People will totally know that.
I love that. And you're like, tell them, just rock it. Rock your personal brand, be memorable, and be the person people want to hang out with, so that other people there say, I want to hang with her too, you know? So come in there really, I mean, we just talked about this, but come in there with confidence, you know, like with confidence in your brand and what you're doing, and your personal brand, you know, leads to a profitable business brand. I believe that with every fiber of my body, you know?
Yeah. And so many times, especially networking, I'll see direct sellers walk in completely branded by their company brand. And it's like they might as well be wallpaper, right? I never remember the name. I'm like, oh, there, you know, and it's just too much. And it's interesting when I developed the $1 Million Party Girl brand, which was a literal translation of who I am, you know, people would say, what do you do? And so instead of telling people what I do, I basically ignored that question. and I started telling people who I am.
Okay.
And I'd say, oh, well, I'm the $1 Million Party Girl.
Right.
And they would say, oh, Gosh, tell me more. What does that mean?
Is that legal? Right.
How much does that cost? I don't know. So,
I want to just put a quick note out. If anybody wants to, we'll finish this up, Lynn, but if anybody wants to jump in, has any questions for Lynn, jump in now, because we're going to try to keep this to a half hour. We're already almost at 20 something minutes. So, so if anybody wants to jump in that extra seat, jump in. So instead of telling people what you do, you tell them who you are. I like that.
Yeah, because I feel like when people say, what do you do? When we talked a little bit about this yesterday, I'm an accountant, I'm a realtor, I'm a lawyer, I sell Party Light.
Right.
Well, when I would tell people I sell Party Light, the first words out of their mouth were, oh my gosh, I don't want to book a party. Like, I'm like, well, I didn't even ask you that question. But they put you in a box. Right. People will not even get to know you. Right. Or the network. Like, people didn't know I had a network of thousands of women that I could refer them to.
Right.
I'm like,
that's crazy, right?
You don't know what I got going on.
Right. Oh, I love it. I love that.
So I finally I'm just going to tell them exactly who I am and what I did.
Yeah.
So part of creating the brand was a little bit of kind of like, well, just take that for all of you that discounted me and who I was,
Exactly. And
I'll show you.
Just to let you guys know, I actually spoke at an event that Lynn put together yesterday, a luncheon for an organization she's in. And I actually said, and Lynn, this is exactly why I say that. I don't, if you meet somebody at a networking event, you don't walk up to them and say, I'm Lynn and I have 10,000 people, 2,000 people that work underneath me or whatever. You don't do that. You just, you tell them again, what you're all about. And then let them find that out tomorrow when they check you out on LinkedIn. Let them see your network. And then they're going to be like, ooh, I need to get to know that girl better, So that's what I love about using LinkedIn for those kinds of things. You can introduce yourself and just, casually, and obviously your network and people want to know what you're all about, but don't lead with that. You know what I mean? Don't lead with your, with your loaded gun. Let that come.
Yeah. It works so much better when you draw people in and they're saying, oh, well, tell me more about that, than you just throwing up on people with everything you have in your,
Exactly.
Your sales arsenal.
So I have a question for you, Lynn. Is there a difference? And if so, can you help me understand the difference between direct sales and network marketing?
Yeah, I have a really simple explanation for you, and it's literal. So network marketing is more about building a network.
Okay.
Direct selling is more about selling. Now, direct sales can also include a network marketing component.
Okay.
Right? But a lot of women that start direct sales don't necessarily take that road, which is the road that I took of coming in and really building a direct sales team. So network marketing is really, you're joining that to build a network. You're joining that with that bigger picture in mind. You're not joining a network marketing company because yes, you love the product, but you're thinking, okay, it's all going to be, the language is typically more centered around recruiting and, building that downline lineage. Whereas direct sales, a lot of women are in this, they're hobbyists, they're doing it to get, like I said, to get out at night. It's extra wiggle room money. And a few, come in and go for the network marketing component of it. But it really is right in the name of the, the two different types. Network marketing, mostly about building a network. Direct sales has more of that sales component.
Right. Good. That's really interesting. Because I think you referred to them differently in a conversation we had not that long ago. And I was like, I don't really think I understand the difference between the two. That makes sense. So they could be, one product or one contract could be both network marketing and direct sales.
Yep. Direct sales tends to sell more in the party plan format. That's, in the industry, we refer to that as the party plan format, where you're doing parties and that's where you're meeting people. Whereas network marketing is kind of more, friend to neighbor to family, come over, see what I got, see if you want to sign up, and then you invite your friends, family, and neighbors.
Right. I like that. Amy's saying she needs to get better at LinkedIn. I agree. I'm ready when you are, Amy. So follow me on Twitter here. Yeah,
You've got that great video series.
I do have that great video series. And if you go to my Twitter account, it's easy to get a hold of that really easily. I tweet about it a couple times a day. So it's easy to get that. Yeah. So, yeah. And you know what? It kind of does go hand in hand because, you're standing out, you're trying to stand out from the crowd. And I'm saying, I said this yesterday too, like, it's great that you're all meeting here at this networking event, but what are you going to do tomorrow? How are you going to stay in touch with these people? And, so there's more than one reason to be using LinkedIn. And Amy, if you meet people, it's just a great way to keep those contacts warm if used properly. And when I say properly, there's no rules. It's just about having a plan to stay in touch with people and using LinkedIn to do it. It's really easy to do.
Yeah, I think your favorite, one of the biggest tips I took away yesterday was to do the 10 a week. Reach out to 10 connections a week and just say, hey, let's see how we can help each other.
Right. Right. And that, exactly. And, Lynn, it's funny when you said, people don't know that you have this network of thousands of women that you can introduce them to. That's exactly why I say to people, reach out to people on LinkedIn, but don't have any expectations about how that conversation is going to go, because you need to be open to what the people you're talking to might be able to offer you that maybe is not shown in their LinkedIn profile, or maybe is, it's about just networking, meeting people. How can we help each other? And maybe right now the way you help each other is you refer them to somebody, and there's no personal gain in it for you, but they'll remember that. They'll remember that. And then when the time comes, it all kind of comes back to you. So.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when I accept somebody on LinkedIn and 2 seconds later in my inbox is a pitch.
Right. Absolutely. On any platform, like even on Twitter, when people have those auto DMs on Twitter, I hate them. It drives me crazy because there are people that are genuinely trying to reach out to me on Twitter, and I lose it. It gets lost in all the noise, so I try to keep on top of them, but it's impossible because there's so much garbage. People just doing auto stuff, not genuinely connecting with people. And you know what, Lynn, like, so if you meet with somebody again, maybe you're gonna meet with some guy and he's not the least bit interested in party light or anything else, but someday he's gonna be like talking to somebody and they're gonna mention their wife's interested or whatever, and he's gonna say, I have somebody you really need to meet. Because, just as in any other business, who you align yourself with when you go into these new businesses could really impact how quickly you make or break profitability in that business, right? So if I knew somebody that wanted party light, I would be like, you need to talk to Lynn and she's going to hook you up with someone, because I know that if they're on your team, they're going to be well taken care of. And that's not to say that if they're on somebody else's, they're not going to be, but they might not be.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, I mean, you refer people like, and trust, right? I mean, that is the essence of building a really strong brand, is having that instant recognition when someone says, oh, I need somebody for this, and that name pops right into your head. And it could be a month later, it could be 3 years later. Right.
Absolutely. So we have this LinkedIn conversation going on the side, which, me, it gets right into my brain. LinkedIn is a great tool. I have many connections there. Also a great place to share your content. Yes. Often people forget to share their content on LinkedIn, and your content is going to be seen by more of your connections on LinkedIn than many of your other platforms. So don't forget to share your content there. And Amy's, I need to go update. We all need to go in and update your profile. Your profile's never done. It's something that's dynamic. It's going to change as your life changes and your business changes. And every time I go in and work with somebody on LinkedIn and I'm in my own profile, I say, oh, I need to change this. I need to change this. Like, I'm changing it all the time. So Mr. Wonderful is asking, what about LinkedIn Pulse? Is it still valid? Yeah, it's still valid. I mean, I did hear some noise last week maybe, that the reach is not as great as it used to be, but I think if it's going to help you get more eyes on your content, if it's 2 more eyes, it's 2 more eyes, right? So I still think it's valid. I also think when you create content for LinkedIn Pulse, and that's the LinkedIn long form post we're talking about, I think that it supports your personal brand, right? So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, you'll see all the posts that I've written about social media. So not only do you see all the things that I put on my profile, but you'll see the article, the blogs I've written. So you'll get a feel for my position on all of these things. So even if nobody else is seeing them but people that you're already connected to, I think it still supports your personal brand.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah,
And you never, again, you just don't know. So many people are watching that we don't know,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they might never comment or like, but trust me, there's a lot of people that know what you got going on that you don't even know are paying attention.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I agree. And that's the whole goal of all of this social media stuff, right? It's about getting people into your world and then taking really good care of them so that they want to do more business with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, Lynn, how can people follow you? Because we promised a half hour here. How can people follow you, find you? What can you know,
What do
what
I
can
got going on? Yeah. So,
yeah.
Karen, I was blabbing last night. Did you know that Blab just added a feature that you can add a link to an empty seat and a website pops up?
I did know that. I did know that. Do you want to put your website in?
Yeah, I just did. What's it say? Drop-ins won't show in recordings or audio, but we're working on it. Oh, I don't know if that's working. All right, I'm going to put it in the chat. Maybe I can't do it because I'm not the admin.
No, but I made you a host, so you should
Oh,
be
that's
able to do
right.
it.
Yeah, I just got an error message. All right, well, there's my website. I stuck it in the chat. I don't know why it didn't work. Let's try it again. Oh, there we go. So it's in the third spot. You can click right through.
Cool.
Graphics are not coming up, but yeah, so you could, drop your email if you want to get on my list. Read my blog. If you're in direct sales, there's a search tab. Anything you want to know, I've probably written a blog about, whether it be vendor events, Facebook parties, Periscope, and marketing in general, building your team, booking parties. There's a whole script on how to get people to book parties. Anything you need to know is there. And then I do have a VIP group for my Visionista community that, they don't want to sell candles, but they want my expertise.
Right. I love that. I love that. Cool. That's great. So you guys should all follow Lynn and check out all of her articles. She's, like I said, and buy her book. I'm telling you, you're going to buy her book and you're going to want to sell candles because I did.
I'm a shameless self-promoter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great. I mean, Lynn, I read it more than once, truthfully. I read it more than once, and I can't say I have a lot of books. I don't know if you can see my bookshelf. Oops,
thank you.
I have a lot of books, and it's definitely one of my favorites because I think it's very easily digestible and gets right to the point. And it really inspires people, I think, to understand how they can really make a living at doing this stuff and the things that they love to do. So, thanks for writing it.
Thank you. Yeah, I tell people it's really more about the journey the fear, the failure, all the crap you got to get through to hang in there. That it's not really a book about direct sales. It's really about the journey of what it really takes to succeed and hang in there at the end.
Right. And I would encourage you. I can tell you all, like my website. I'm going to actually put in this other box. Heads up, drop-ins won't show in recordings. Okay. My website is brand new. My new website, like I can put the M, as of yesterday. So it's probably a lot of things that when you click on it won't work. But
I didn't even know that.
Check it out. It's brand new. I almost pulled it up on the screen yesterday. I thought I should have literally to show everybody because it's not coming up. It's KarenYankovich.com. Check it out. I want to show it off. I'm not really showing it off too publicly yet because there's just so many things that still need. Like the blog, last I looked, you could get to a blog individually, but if you hit the blog tab on the menu, it didn't take you to the blogs. So there's still things that, and there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that, the blog pictures, every blog picture came up twice. So my assistant had to go in and delete one picture on every blog I've ever done, and there's a lot. So yeah, we've had a lot of issues, but I have given birth to children in less time than it took me to get this website up. So check it out, you guys, KarenYankovich.com. Let me know what you think. And you can get my video series there too.
Yeah, the video series is great.
Yeah. So Lynn, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Always
really fun to hear your story.
Thank you. I did get a little intel last night from my co-host on my Blab show that Blab is rolling out to Facebook groups. You're going to start to be able to Blab.
Really?
Yes. So I don't know if Facebook is buying Blab or what's going down. This is like kind of a test.
Wow.
So we will be able to
That's
blab.
interesting.
Yeah, blab within a group, which is, I feel, a huge opportunity for all of us, to really be able to
I'm already,
with.
my brain whirling. And I have somebody on this chat that's offering feedback on my site. Absolutely. There's a contact form. All feedback is welcome. No ego here. I want it to be fast and efficient, and I want it to be people to be able to understand it. I don't know if I can do all the things that people recommend, but I take them all into consideration. So I'd love to hear your feedback. Whoever, you have initials and letters, so I can't even call you a name, but I'd love your feedback. The contact form on my site does work. I did check that. So you can, reach out to me that way.
It's Walter.
Cool.
Walter,
thank you, Walter.
Checked your profile, Walter.
And that, you know what, you all, the social media personal brand person in me says this is why you want your handle to be your name. So that when you're on all these sites, your personal brand, we can talk to you. We can say Walter. And that's not a judgment at all, because I know that everybody's been doing a lot of things over the years with their social media. But as we roll more into this live streaming stuff, it's becoming more important that our names are in our handles.
I second that. Claim your name, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Put an initial in there. Put it, do what you got to do to get it as close to your name as you can. All right, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Lynn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We got to find something else to do to play together soon.
I know, definitely.
Thanks again. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll be back here actually next week, 2:30. I don't actually know. We might take next week off. Normally, we're Thursdays at 2:30 on Blab. We might take next week off because both Christina and I have a conflict, but we'll be back the week after. So put Thursdays at 2:30 on your calendar, and we'll see you then.
All right. Bye, everyone. Are you going to kick me out?
I'll kick you out.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today on our Blab series, Get Seen, Be Heard. If you've missed any episodes, you can always find us at www.getseenbeheardtv.com/YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll always be notified when we upload a new episode. We work together with clients, helping them combine social media and PR to get more customers and grow their business. If that sounds like something you'd like to learn more about, visit us at www.soartoprofit.com. We have regular workshops where we combine our expertise and show you how to use social media and publicity to get seen and be heard. See you next week.